Let's do the introduction.
Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, live on Santa Cruz Way's Facebook page, the Four Mayors Show. I can't believe these people still want to come on our show. It's crazy. Jimmy Dutra from Watsonville.
Hey y'all. Hi.
Donna Meyers from Santa Cruz. Hello. Yvette Brooks from Capitola.
Hello,
About her
promotion
I
know, did you forget who I was?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
her self-promotion sheet. And my soccer buddy, my soccer friend, Derek Timm from Scotch Valley.
Four mayors.
Here we are.
Four mayors.
First off, welcome to the show. Earlier we said you've only been Zooming, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times,
Pretty much.
Zooming.
Zooming.
The first time you've been face-to-face in how long? Like standing across from each other?
Well, we
Last
hang
time was
out.
in a park.
Yeah. Was that the last time the
Last time
four
was
of us
in
were
a park
together?
in-
So it was like June.
Anna Jean Cummings Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I, we had wine
Yeah.
since. Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all look great.
How difficult has it been to run things from Zoom? And I know a lot of people are obviously working now from home using Zoom. Who was some guy fired his whole staff today? Who was that?
On Zoom?
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw that. That was
Some
terrible.
mortgage company guy like Zoom, but he fired 900 people because he figured out they weren't doing shit.
They were wearing pajamas the
they-
whole time?
They were, and they were working like 2 hours a day and They were working 2 hours a day and
He was like, if you're on this call, you're the unfortunate ones who are going to be laid off. That's how he said it. I was like, what? Can you imagine it?
Everybody off
It was
on Zoom.
750 people.
Has it been hard to run our nation on Zoom?
Well, City of Santa Cruz, City Hall has never been a dull place for people to come to city council meetings. So, I mean, for us, I think it's been a little more efficient and a lot quieter because we'll get hundreds of people to show up to the city council meetings.
Right.
So, I think a lot of people have engaged that haven't engaged before, but a lot of people want us back in person.
Well, you're not back in person? Oh.
Well, then back in person for you is like, it's like a circus at a Santa Cruz City Council meeting.
It can be.
Yeah, and so
Can be.
where are the circus performers?
They
are
call
they?
in.
Yesterday, they were emailing
They're calling
me.
Yvette.
They emailed me now.
Mayor Brooks.
They run her contact information at the bottom of every city council meeting in Santa Cruz.
That was my one goal before I got out of mayorship, is to give them Yvette's phone number.
Give everybody your email right now.
I don't. Happy holidays.
It's all right. You were running it at the bottom of the screen.
I gotta say one thing about her.
Okay.
No. Remember, we've had how many politicians? All the politicians we've had on the show.
Congress all the way down. Right, gotcha. Okay.
From right?
Yeah.
All from Leon Panetta,
Oh, yeah.
down.
We even go above Congress.
right, all of them,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Hold on. She's the only one. She's the only one that said, right? So all the, can we talk about homelessness and can we talk about the situation in Santa Cruz? But and everyone goes, oh, we're looking for the solution. The solution is the word fucking solution is coming out. You're right. It's been coming out of their ears. Solution. She said right here in that chair when it was there.
It was right about.
We got no dough. We don't have any money. I can't get any frickin' help from the state. That's it. She was the only one to give us an honest answer, honest opinion, who didn't say, oh, I got a solution coming. It's right here somewhere. I think I got it. It's in my, oh, here it is. Oh, no, it's not the solution. No.
Well, we just talked about that, right? Didn't we?
Yeah.
We all agreed
Yeah.
that we go down the. Everyone wants to talk about homelessness, mental health, drug addiction, crime, and how do we make it better? And what would that be? Money. We all need funding to create.
She's the only
education.
one that said, I got no
Where's the
dough.
money?
And I got $14 million.
You
I?
did?
Hell yeah.
For saying you don't have nothing?
On
You
the
got-
Off the Lip Radio Show, we got $14 million.
Gone there.
There it is.
Neil,
right?
We're changing the world,
We're
Neil.
changing the words, right.
okay, so $14 million. What are we spending it on?
Well, we are likely going to spend it on some additional shelter beds because we need beds to get people in so that they can get queued up to either find their way home or they can find services like case managers, drug and alcohol counseling, all of that. So, But we can't have people living in these encampments. It's awful in those things, and we can't access them, and they need assistance. I'm not saying they need to stay here forever, but they need assistance to get out of that cycle of the encampments, and they need to be able to access service providers and case managers, especially women that are in those encampments. They need to be able to talk to someone that's safe, and so this money will help us get some additional shelter beds. It'll help us get some additional case management. We're basically at my last meeting is where we're going to put out the spending plan for that $14 million. And John Laird and Mark Stone are the ones that really helped us get that money.
I think you run into the problem too that like these people need to want to get the help as well,
Exactly.
Yeah. And the problem is that a lot of times they don't want it, right? We just had an issue I was talking about earlier where our Kmart became vacant because they're all closing down, and then we had a bunch of people move down in their RVs, they moved down in their tents and cars. And we're throwing needles over the walls in the neighborhoods, in the neighbors' backyards, and flying drones and fighting back there and racing motorcycles. It was a whole nation back there they're building, right? And
Behind the Kmart?
in front, behind, around, everywhere, right? Yeah. So someone came to the city council meeting because we're back in city council meetings. We've been back for months because I was like, we have to get back. There's no way that we can't be like continuing to Zoom. That was like shutting down and turning off and kicking everybody out, and it's been terrible.
Right.
So anyways, a woman came and she was like, you're kicking us out of our home. I'm like, that's not your home. That's private property. That's owned by a private person. We're trying to. We need some new big business in there. And I said, but this great place just opened up, Grace Harbor. Let me put you in touch with the director. We can get you some housing. And then her answer was, but that's not the point. And I said, well, for us, that's the point. We're trying to find you housing. And so to me, it's like the need, they have to want to get the help and the services, right? We can provide all we want, but until...
And there's a lot of activists that their whole goal is to sue the jurisdictions.
Right.
Watsonville, Capitola, Santa Cruz, Scotts, right? Watsonville,
Timm Meyers.
Scotts Valley, Capitola. You guys are all very different communities. We're very close to each other, but very different communities, right? A lot of different shit going on.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of difference.
Right?
Yeah.
What was your biggest success, do you think, and biggest, I'm going to say failure, but something, something that you would
Let me take them. We gotta go, guys. This is
I want the biggest failure.
something you wanted to do, and because you just couldn't push it over the finish line.
Well, so in Scotts Valley, I think like we were focused 100% when the pandemic began on saving our businesses, right? So like biggest thing that I could do is keep our small businesses open,
Right.
And
Like this one here.
Like this one here.
Thank you. Yeah.
So really getting deeply involved with them on that. That was my favorite thing that I worked on, and growing our business base there. We did that as well, and so I'm very proud of that work.
Right.
As a city, the hardest thing was losing our city manager in the middle of this year. It was awful because and I'm bringing up a raw subject here. We're going to get to that in a minute.
How'd you lose him?
Didn't everybody lose it? You didn't, but everybody else did.
Everyone else did. She took a job down in Coronado, right? And but the bummer was a lot of the things I was working on, like right in the middle of, like our town center project in Scotts Valley, like that all gets derailed. Right, because
It's coming together right now, isn't it?
it's all, but you're going to have to defer because you really count on a city staff, and just like a small business,
Right.
I mean, you know how hard it is to keep staff right now.
Yeah,
It's impossible, and so for our police department, for our public works, for the front office staff, we're losing people, and you're trying to run a business and provide services to a community. That's really hard.
It's like losing the band manager. Right. Like imagine if you're a band and the band manager's like later. That's what a city goes through. Is you lose the band manager.
For you? You got a nice little community down there. Capitola doesn't have that much shit going on. It's right.
Well, so you're asking me what my most.
What was your biggest accomplishment, and what's something that you weren't able to get across the finish line?
For me, in today's paper, there was a 5-page spread on Capitola's accomplishments. Just saying, if you didn't read that in the Sentinel today, but there was I did. You guys got that?
What you see, TC? You don't.
No, you told me I saw Neil and I go, yeah.
We have a couple glasses of wine before we come down here, right? So TC's like, she wrote this whole paragraph.
No, I was like, Neil, you see the paper? There's a big story about the accomplishments of the mayor, written by the mayor. And I picked up the SoCal Capitola Times, and I was like, hey, there it is again.
Well, I think the biggest accomplishment was the collaboration with the rest of the cities. I mean, this is something we've talked about before. Is like, this is unheard of, right? Understandably, shit has hit the fan because of the pandemic, and businesses have suffered, our kids have suffered, our families, everyone is suffering. And not only were we all able to come together, but we were able to create, have these conversations, think about policy that we wanted to do collaboratively. And so that is also what I would say is the one thing I wish I could continue. So all of us have 1 year left in our 4-year term. And so
Not as mayor.
not as mayor, but
On city council. You just got elected.
yeah. So we still have time on council, but what happens is when you're not the mayor any longer, you no longer set the agenda. You can push policy and you can do things like that, but you just kind of lose that clout, right? You lose the ear because you have that title. And so the hardest thing to walk away from here is to not be able to have this and to continue these conversations on the good work. What Donna forgot to mention is that the city is partnering with the county on the homeless action, the HAP, and every city now is a partner in that. That's a lot of your work that you've done.
Good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And what Scotts Valley's done is they've continued to support their youth programming efforts. And what you've done is you've really created a system to support all the COVID response and providing equitable opportunities for folks to access the vaccines.
That's cool, but you got 4 different types of population that you guys are dealing with, right? Yours is so different to what he's dealing with, right? Different cup of tea of people.
But what I will
Right?
add is like there's that equity aspect, right? You have to serve everybody,
Right.
and that's what we can do here. One of the biggest things that we're also going to be doing is through the CJC, the Criminal Justice Council, and you were talking about funding and change needs funding. Well, a free thing that we're doing is that policy needs needs to be when we create policy for policing. Generally, that takes place privately. So the chief and the police officers all create policy privately. What now has become is that there will be certain policies that will go out to the community. And so when they have these things and they talk about this $900 threshold before someone can go to jail for their behavior, those types of policy reforms can take place together. And as a community, we all have that as a choice for us. So that kind of reform is happening, and it doesn't cost us anything. But it was all
It seems like the people of our county and our communities want that. I mean, I follow a bunch
100%.
of neighborhood forums on social media, and the frustration people have of the crime that currently, then small crime, not like murders and robberies and stuff, but the bike getting stolen, the car getting broken into twice in a week, is people are just topped out with that right now. And it's based on society feels like they're not punished anymore. You know, the big crimes get punished, and steal a mountain bike. I had a friend who hiked up the San Lorenzo River today, and he found a campsite with 70 bikes. He counted 70 bikes.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's interesting. But there needs to be some change for that. And I love that. For one, it's the first I've ever heard of policing policy being associated with a council or
it's transparent policy making, right? But it needed the buy-in. What our police chiefs and what our other council members who sit on the CJC needed to see is collaboration, right? Nobody was gonna, 100% our police departments were not gonna be like, hell yeah, we're gonna let everyone review all of our policies, our police policies, because that's a whole system in and of itself. But when you have community and you are able to have these conversations and you feel safe in them, then absolutely you can open it up to the rest of the community.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How long have you been mayor for?
A year.
When you went in there, obviously you wanted to change the community and make some improvements. Were you able to do that?
Absolutely.
You were, so you weren't. It wasn't like I remember talking to a friend of mine, Hillary Bryant, who said, "Neil, I'm on the side of the pool, ready to help the community, ready to dive in," and she dove in to the deep end, and she goes, "It was cement. I was stuck.
Yeah,
I couldn't
that
do
happens.
anything. I'm just like it's one of those dreams where you can't, you remember the dream where you can't move." She goes, "I couldn't do anything." Were you guys able to? Were you guys able? I'm starting with Jimmy. Are you able to change things and improve things as far as the goals that you had?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from big to small, I think Mayor Brooks was saying, the first thing that we did was I worked with them to get the vaccination down to Watsonville. We had the most people dying. It was in disproportionate numbers to the rest of the county.
Right.
More people were getting it than anyone else, and the vaccine was up in the northern part of the county. And so, I mean, they remember I was on call and I was just like real bitchy, I was and I was.
I'm gonna use that term.
It's-
I don't know that you're allowed to.
I think I can get away with it.
Yeah.
But I was just because people didn't realize the how it was really affecting our community, and they listened, and because of you guys, we were able to actually get the vaccines down there. You helped put pressure on the rest of the county, and then we opened up the site. And then now we've been able to, get people vaccinated, and now we're getting them boosters. So that was the first big thing that we did. I also I advocated to get our farm workers vaccinated towards the front of the line. They were the ones that were actually out, making sure that food was on our table all day long, every day.
Right.
Well, a lot of us, like myself, were privileged to work from home on it, over Zoom. I understood that, and so I was something that I was really pushing for. Luckily, the governor did put them to the front. We worked through issues throughout the whole year. Dealing with illegal fireworks was a big issue. I think that's probably the most emails I got on any issue was that. The illegal fireworks. I believe out of the 365 days in the year, maybe 350. I mean, it felt like that, They still go off. But now it feels like the bomb things they're throwing,
Right.
So, and then to the minor thing where when I grew up in Watsonville, I'm 3 generations. I went to local schools there. I remember going down Main Street when I was a little kid, and we used to have these really awesome light decorations, off the lights.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring them back, and so I went to our Parks and Community Services, the nonprofit. I said, hey, I have this idea. Will you work with me? We raised almost $40,000. We have beautiful snowflakes,
That's cool.
lining the streets
Wow.
now.
Yeah.
Local banners, over 70 donors have their names on banners throughout the city. So from something so grand to so small, I was able to get stuff accomplished. But there was pushback, and there was
What
times
was your
where
biggest accomplishment?
my biggest accomplishment
Yeah.
was definitely the vaccination, getting
Yeah.
it down there. I mean, we saved lives.
Don, what was yours?
You think?
I mean, I think mine was.
It's okay to pat yourself on the back.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I mean, I think that we set some new rules around how we're going to manage homelessness. We took on the oversight vehicle, RV stuff that's going out on the west side. We took on the big encampment stuff. It's still going to have to be done, but we set the
Right.
new law.
Right.
I also was super stoked to support Martine Watkins and Renee and Shebra on bringing the children's fund forward.
The tax marijuana tax?
Using that 20% of our cannabis, and that's going to be a game changer. I mean, it's going to help families, really access all kinds of stuff. So,
How much
we championed
How much
that.
money do you think it's going to be raised for that?
I think over the years that could get up into $500,000 easily,
Wow.
if not more.
Congratulations.
And
Very cool.
that's locked in by our voters,
Yeah.
82%.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I did was just say to my fellow council members, let's work together, let's get shit done. And, let's focus on the things. There's hard things we need to do, but there's also good things. I mean, the other thing I really tried to work on was, making sure that we kept surfing, keep surfing as an icon in Santa Cruz. And so we adopted the West Cliff Drive adaptation plan. And West Cliff, of course, is, iconic with regards to steamers and our surf spots, and worked with Save the Waves and the World Surf Reserve, and we're going to bring an MOU with the city for next week.
Yeah.
So, I bopped around. I tried to not just do hard stuff. I also tried to work on cool stuff that I thought was really
Well,
important for the
you're a
community.
straight shooter, so.
We had Bob Pearson on 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
And he did say that they're going to lose their museum.
Yeah.
and they need a museum, and
That's to be
it's
worked on.
it's a
on the
huge
list.
thing. Yeah. So
It's on my
that
list.
little bit of time you got left,
It's on my
Bob,
list.
we're getting it,
I
Bob.
have not forgotten it.
Okay, we need
It's
that because that Mark
We
Abbott
just
Lighthouse.
need a bigger, better museum than the one
We
have.
do, because I have stuff I would like to donate, and I have friends who have stuff. I mean, I'm a collector of things that are rare and like that, and
That is not off the list. I still got
yeah,
7 more days.
they yeah, awesome. I love that.
Your turn.
Biggest
accomplishment.
I did answer.
You did? You said it already?
I
She
think
said
I
there were
did.
5.
There was
Yeah.
and then you stopped talking to me. You know what I'll say though about that article? Just actually what it was about was acknowledging and thanking all of our staff. So to go
Yeah,
back
that
to
was
like.
good.
We are so lucky we didn't lose our city manager and compared to other cities.
What happened there?
We all did.
Everybody else did except the city of Capitola.
You still love your city.
It was like, you know,
But-
Chief Andy Mills came on the show a couple weeks ago.
A month ago, yeah.
Right, a month ago, and he said that 70% of all the police chiefs in the major metropolitan areas of our country quit.
I lost my
So
police
ours
chief and my
retired.
fire chief.
They
In
left.
1 year.
Right?
Yeah.
Police and fire.
So it was a big shout out to staff because
No,
our
I
staff
was just
held us
teasing.
down. No, I know. But our staff, I mean,
God.
to that point though, our staff,
going up.
They're going up.
over. Our staff just needs a huge shout out. I mean, they work their butts off, and
Yeah.
to like be so open to what we wanted to bring to the table and being able to jump on that and write policy for us and to just work hard during the pandemic. I mean, they showed up every single day, and I'm grateful for
I have
that.
one more.
Bingo.
So in the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so we've been working on this housing project downtown Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Affordable housing, 100% affordable, and totally redoing the whole Metro Center. We just scored, over the last 4 weeks, we just scored $50 million to build all that and get that all done.
What
So
you
this is
scored?
affordable
What you
housing.
scored it?
It's like a corner.
Scored it.
What you mean scored it?
You should see me when I'm really working that. No,
What's that? Hang on.
Donna scored it. She scored some.
no, that is our economic development department.
Yeah.
Our
Nice
housing team,
backpedaling over here.
all,
That's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money, but you know, also it's like spending time with our electeds, right? Like John Laird and Mark Stone and Jimmy Panetta. Like every week I had a meeting with one of them or their staff, and it's like constantly reminding them the kinds of things that we need. And those guys work so hard for us. So it's like that's part of, you did the same. It's like knowing how to go out and get those resources for the community. And if you don't ask them, they don't know that you need it, you know. So I'm like on the phone with Sacramento every day, just trying to work.
Well, I
and
think the
try to get
last
those
transit
resources here.
update was like 1986 or something down there. And what's new? What does 50 million get
The
us?
whole thing will face Front Street now, and it'll be a nice more of a tarmac kind of thing where the where the buses come in, and then we're flipping the parcel, so we'll be building housing that faces Pacific. So you won't have buses coming through, so it'll be all residential on one side and then residential on the south side. We're gonna build dental clinics moving in, and the Santa Cruz Health Center's moving in.
Do we still
Both
have room to
clinics.
build shit in this town?
We do.
Well,
right?
you're just using the
Downtown.
space better.
Downtown? No, come on.
Downtown.
And are you?
I mean,
Are you trying to make downtown popular again? People don't go downtown. I know several businesses I know.
Hey, last
don't
week you got
anymore.
called
I'm
out for
gonna go
that.
to the new Target in Scotts Valley. That's where
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Right? But like
Or the
okay, so
REI.
like last Thursday, I did a show in Saturday, I did a show in Los Gatos.
Yeah.
Well, no problem. Close the street. Close the street. No problem. The Pacific Avenue should be closed like Saturday or sometime.
Close it a fair amount.
They
It's
do?
closed now. Lower
Okay,
Pacific's
all
been
right.
closed for almost a year.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's been closed
And
for a
we've
bit.
made those out. We're going to be making those out. We just extended the outdoor dining for another year.
Oh, you did?
And we just need to figure out how to get the emergency access stuff figured out.
Okay, question. Okay. Nice family. Ex-soccer player.
Yes. Hey, wait, hold on. Is he any? Is he any good?
He's good.
Okay, all right.
We had our
moments.
God, just slow, Derek. You old farting you. But our team sucked.
Oh.
Yeah. Our team
His
is-
brother could run. His brother would run forever. Just give the ball to his brother. He's like, give the ball to his brother.
That was my key skill.
Dimitri. Yeah, there you go, Dimitri.
Okay, real estate's going well.
Yes.
Would you recommend somebody taking your job, going into public service? Yeah,
Well, it depends on what they want to, if they know what they're signing up for.
Okay.
Right? I think no one could have planned for the year
Did
we
you know
just
what you
had.
were signing up for?
No, not this.
No.
No one knew they were signing up for 2020 and 2021.
Especially for the pandemic.
For sure.
Right.
For sure. But you didn't know it as a small business owner,
No.
right? Didn't know it as a politician. You didn't know it in any industry. You didn't know it if you were a
And
teacher.
he'll tell you
Yeah.
that after the pandemic hit, there was no supervisor or anybody who could tell him how to run his business.
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, we just were like, no one. I mean, I've talked to everybody. It was like, just go on this website. It's called www.so/gov/com. And I'm like, no, that doesn't work. I just put a sign up. I think we have to wear masks and wash your hands. You know, and I had no idea.
Right.
I didn't know if for my
Well,
employees.
Leopold came on and told you.
Yeah.
This website.
It was
Forward slash-
dot. There's a huge name.
In all your spare time, right?
Yeah,
But that's the thing. Like, none of us knew. So we all had to, every day it felt like, and actually every week we had a new emergency, right? And you had to figure it out. You had to be like, okay, well, this week the rule is this. Then this week for our businesses, this week for our schools, this week for. So it's just been a year where every week you're trying to figure out what the new rules are,
Right.
And everyone's trying to do it, and everyone's a little exhausted. Right, so you got like my big thing is like have grace for people, thank them, be grateful,
Right.
and that's why you see so many people quitting and leaving jobs and
Right.
being frustrated because if they're being shit on all day, it just doesn't feel good.
No.
Right, and so it's that being able to say for real like thank you, like really thank you, and there are people that come up, and I know you guys get it too. People that you get dumped on, but there are a lot of people that are really grateful for the work that we've all done, and that feels good. So for that reason, I would tell people, the original question you asked, would I sign up for this again? I really felt like I was in the right space at the right time to be able to do this.
Right.
But had I known what I was getting into, I really would have had to think twice.
Well, it's like thanking the kid's coach.
Right.
Because coaching's not always fun. There's parents who get pissed at you because their kid's not playing.
Totally.
I always said thank you to the coach.
Absolutely.
I have another question. And this is for you.
Oh, here we go.
And this is from him. Because he forgets shit. I forget shit too.
You said
But
you didn't have any prep questions tonight.
No,
What happened?
but I got it. I got the
All right.
question. See, I got the question. So he opened a new store downtown, right? Downtown Capitola. Much like this, except for it doesn't have skateboards. Okay, this TC, take it over. There's people going through Capitola on one wheels, electric skateboards, right, TC?
Oh.
All
right.
Electric bikes.
I guess we're going there.
Right?
Okay.
We were going to save it for Andy Dowling. We were going to save it for
I want you
Andy.
to call him?
Get his ass on the phone.
My
I hear you. Yeah, I know.
Okay, in Capitola Village, you cannot ride a skateboard. It is against the law. I've already been rolled up on the police. I had nothing to do with it. But an innocent bystander to remind me that there's a no skateboarding law in Capitola. But you can ride a scooter.
Yeah.
You can ride rollerblades.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
ride roller skates.
Oh, yeah.
You can ride an electric bicycle and an electric scooter. A double wide stroller at full speed on the sidewalk. And
Is there a question? Is there a question? I don't know what you want me to say. I don't hear the question.
But yeah, we'll get Andy Daly on that. Andy, if you're watching, be prepared. Oh boy, I didn't expect that question.
I didn't expect. I knew. No, I know.
Watsonville.
Yes.
I mean, Freedom Boulevard right now to get all people moving down that side, moving down there.
In
Right?
droves.
In
yes.
droves,
It's
right?
like-
It's cheaper.
we're the safest place in the county almost. I mean, I don't know, maybe you're a little bit safer, but our crime rate is really low. And the only problem is our roads where you have pedestrian on vehicle accidents are pretty high.
Right.
So that we want to fix.
Low crime, how?
Killings, like high into like going in and breaking stores and
Right.
stealing stuff, and
Right.
we just don't have that going on down there.
Did you enjoy your time as mayor?
I did. I enjoyed it. It's tough though. I was just telling Donna that like it really takes a special person to be the mayor on city council. People get into it and then they realize I'm out.
Right.
I've had so many people drop out. We have a special election tomorrow to fill one of our vacant seats. There's one city council member said he's not going to run for re-election. We dealt with the defund the police was really big in our community, so we did that. We already did the ad hoc committee for policing. That was a whole year. We just
Right.
finished it, and it was really intense. And you have a lot of community voices in there to try to address this issue, which is so big.
Would you come back?
As mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can stay on for another year, sure.
Okay. Another year, that's it.
Yeah, I'm worried about the next person.
I'm going to point you because Martine Watkins, right? She was mayor.
Yeah.
Right? And she was here last week. And now she's doing vice mayor.
And she's gonna be mayor again. She's a two-timer.
You heard that here, Neil.
She's out of her crazy. I told her, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind?
I know. She's
Right? She got kids up the yin yang, right?
she's got energy. She's
technical term.
Right?
ready to roll.
Technical term.
We don't have any technical terms
She's
here.
good. But look what she
You're
did.
lucky we're not serving booze.
Back on the city council, first 9 months, boom, passes this amazing children's fund thing. I mean, it's like,
But
and
we
that's
need
part
people.
of the work.
But we need people. The old cronies have to go.
Right,
People like her.
Right.
Someone wrote a question here. There. When are you getting rid of the old cronies?
the old cronies.
Yeah.
Wait, is she considered an old
Who's an
crony?
old
She's
crony?
not a crony.
Oh, I thought
None
that's
of
what
us-
you said.
You are.
My friend Emily Thomas. My friend Emily Thomas from Santa Cruz Mountain Brewery goes, Neil, you should run for office. I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. I'll back you up. I'll be the money. I'm like, absolutely
You
not.
can't take it too personal. That's what this job. It's like if you take this personally, it will eat you alive. It's like all you got to every day. You just got to get up and you just be like, okay, I'm gonna try to get this done today, and then I'm gonna go home to my family, and I'm not gonna take it home with me. It's not easy to do that every day. It is not easy to do that every day, but I can't think of a better way to serve your community. You get 1 year to be the boss of your freaking town. It's pretty
Right.
cool,
Right.
right? But the best way to do that is to work with your colleagues. Like,
Right.
you're one vote.
Right.
I need 3 others to get anything done. So
Right.
if you lift them all up and you put time into their things and the things that they care about, then you work as a team. And so it's like, I mean, I don't know if I'll do the job again, but I will tell you that it was a super cool year. I mean, there's nothing better than being the mayor of Santa Cruz.
Who's got the
Pretty
easiest
cool.
job? Who's got the easiest job amongst you guys?
I don't think there are any easy jobs here.
No.
Yeah.
Really? No, really? No.
Why are you looking at me?
The little seaside beach town. Yeah. Just paddling out the second jetty.
Now, you don't have an encampment
No.
of 300 people in the
We do
center of
not.
your
Oh.
town.
We don't have it.
She's
as
got
hard.
Oscar. Oscar's like, nope,
We don't
you're not
have it
coming
as
here.
hard. No, I mean, we were really lucky. I mean, there's no way to compare what we thought we were going to be $5 million in deficit. We thought
Yeah.
we cut all deficit spending. We thought we were going to be in trouble. And so
Yeah.
the truth is we're not. The state helped us a ton. We had a community that stood behind us. We had this other cities supporting each other. We supported our businesses. I mean, it was just it was odd. It was odd that we were able to recover or not even have to recover.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like that there wasn't the need for that. And so in truth, no, we didn't have it that hard. And
Right.
but it had a lot to do with the staff and the funding that came from the state and layered and
speaking
stone
up
and-
for what we needed.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean
our
we had
communities
this.
didn't need the resource.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That small business part's important because of the tax that's created
Absolutely.
through
But
that.
we've never applied for CDBG grants. There's block grants that are available to cities all the time, and our city never did that. It was me asking them, hey, we should apply for this money. Well, we don't have the bandwidth or we don't have the staff, and I don't want to scare and lose a city manager, and so there was a balance to all of that. But we did it, and we got the money, and we were able to support the businesses and bring all that discretionary funding back. And
What's the marijuana stores called?
Uh-huh.
dispensaries.
Marijuana stores called? What are they
A
called?
dispensary.
Dispenser. Is there one in Capitola?
There's two.
There are two. Didn't know that.
Oh, there's one up by Yeah, there's one up on
She's gonna kill me.
my Toyota Santa Cruz. There's one on the side.
I'm gonna
That's not yours?
She's gonna text me tonight. You're such an asshole.
Well, you know, to add something is like I saw today in the '60s when the polio vaccine was around, 70% of Americans trusted government.
How much?
70% when the polio vaccine first came out. 70% of Americans
yeah.
trusted the government. Today, 14%
Yeah.
trust the government, which trickles down to 14%. I guess trusting what you collectively are trying to do, not the federal government per se, but their attitude about government.
I think it's more people are more independent thinking now than it was. Back then I think people
Right.
fell in line. Now people are really thinking about their own choices and how they benefit themselves and their families. So
Well, it's also
Well, that-
a reflection on who's governing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a mom of a 7-year-old, so my decisions are very different than the old guard, if you will, who
why'd you point at her?
No, the old guard.
No, I got gray hair. I'm old now. Oh, this is how I see. She didn't even look that way.
I've had this hair since I was 25.
No, that's not what I meant.
Okay, we're gonna grab some space for
I don't know who you were pointing
Out
at.
there.
And suddenly it's an interview with the three mayors.
I know.
Let's give me a new headline in the paper tomorrow. Yvette got killed on the Off the Mayor show.
No, my point is that there's like a change in who's holding office now. And so
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
there's new conversations, there's that broader thinking, not only am I making a decision for my community, but when you have your own family that you're making these decisions for, your own children, or you're suffering homeschooling the last year, and those are all those things that also impacted my decisions in what we did.
I want to touch on what you said though. Like when you say 14% of people trust government, I think that's you got to look at where that poll comes from.
For sure.
Right?
I agree.
And you also have to look at what government means to someone.
Exactly.
Right. And so like at a
Right.
local level, if you ask people in Scotts Valley, do they trust their city? I think you're going to get a pretty high
Way
score.
higher.
Way
Right?
higher, yeah.
Like maybe 15 or 16%. Right? No, but no, seriously.
No,
like,
but I agree because that's a national thing,
Correct.
and it's more of a federal thing. But it's interesting to see like people's faith in government.
Well,
you know?
but to your point, like Randy Johnson, who was a former mayor several times in Scotts Valley, he was, his brother got polio when he was a kid. They thought he had it. His brother was wheelchair bound because of it, and he's like, I don't get it. Like when that came out, like our parents were all rushing out to get it, and I think because at the time it was a disease that impacted kids,
Right.
and as parents, you're like, I am immediately going to do whatever my kid needs. I don't want my kid to end up in a wheelchair. I'm going to go get that vaccine, right? So everyone went and signed up for it. In this case, it was like, well, I'm 18 and it may not really affect me. Sure, I might kill grandma, but she's had a good life. That's that's the attitude you get. That's terrible.
But when
right?
I get my booster shot, my first vaccine, my booster shot, I didn't think the government was going in
No.
CBS going, this is for the government.
No,
This is for me.
that's for you.
Right.
That's for
and
you.
the people around me.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really understand government anymore.
no, I agree with that too.
You talk to people and it's like they'll come and say something like, we got to get whatever, we got to get more mental health or behavioral health, and I'm like, well, that's at the county, that's
not your cup- not your
all
cup
Ryan
of tea.
Coonerty, so I think a lot of people they don't, obviously the world affects everybody. Like, is there a stop sign where it should be? Is my garbage getting picked up? But government, I think, is inherently confusing to people, and I think it's because we don't really teach government anymore.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that.
I mean,
I took government in school.
Exactly, civics. It was really fun. It was cool.
Well, and
it was-
civics
we just-
used to include how to be civil, right? And that's something we forgot in this day and age.
and the
Like,
Or never
morals
learned.
of, like,
there are people
young people
that
never-
have forgotten
yeah.
civility, and it's just this like common thing. Like you shake a hand, you be friendly, you respect people. You say, hey, Mr. Mayor, not the things people now say.
People
online,
yell.
right?
People want to yell and scream now. Which gets you nowhere.
Oh my God! I thought my
Right?
name was "fuck you" for the first 6 months because people would come up and scream it at me. Like I was like, I didn't have this problem the last time.
Oh, I thought you were talking about at home.
No, I just just couldn't believe it. I actually have a sty under my eye right here with Donna. It's been here for a year because of Twitch. Yeah, the defund the police people were just so coming at me, and my eye was twitching, and then turned into a sty. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself up here? But I love my community and I care for it, so I put up with being called those names and being because I want to make sure we're going to be put on in the right direction. And
I had 45 people show up in front of my house one night.
Yeah.
10 o'clock at night, screaming on a bullhorn, calling me every name you could think of.
Gail was here a couple weeks ago.
2 hours.
Right? Gail was here. Neil was a couple weeks ago, and the shit that she went through.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. You asked the question earlier, who had it easier?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah,
Like,
all right.
people showing up at your house.
So
We all had it easier. Sorry.
And
Yeah.
what'd you do? What did you do?
We, well, our police were tracking them, and so I was getting texts, and then I saw a bunch of undercover cops coming, parking, and we just went to our neighbors and just, turn off all the lights and let them do their thing. But,
Right.
I mean, the whole neighborhood could hear it, and it was pretty horrible. They were
Yeah,
attacking
that's
me,
terrible.
they were
I'm sorry
attacking
they
my
were- I'm sorry.
wife, they were attacking everything they could about us.
Right.
And it went on for 2 hours.
That's not cool.
Super uncool.
Yeah, that's just not
And that's
cool.
where this activism is just a bunch of nonsense. It's not the old cronies. It's other people who think it's okay to treat people like that.
Right.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty horrible.
I had someone in jail for 3 months. They just released him not too long ago because he went to my mom's house, showed up at my mom's house, and said that he accused me of stealing something like this thing he created to put something in his windows. You can see through tinted windows, and then left his name and number. Police went out to him. He still had that mentality. The next morning he woke up. His roommate said that he threatened to kill us, and then they arrested him. And he had when they went to his house, they removed his gun, and when they found a notebook with about 80 names on it, and I was the number 1 name on it. So he was in our jails for about 3 months, and then he wasn't even from our county. He was living here with a roommate, but he was originally from somewhere else.
Is he still in jail?
No, they released him. So I mean, this is what we have to deal with. Like people coming to our houses, and I got followed home one night. It was really bad. I mean, there were parts sometimes where I was like, why am I doing this? Like it's my own personal safety
People
is at
screaming
risk.
at you.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's so
Yeah.
crazy because you have the hardest jobs. I always say that. We've had over the years, Neil, right? We've had between the police chiefs and the mayors and the people who, this is not a get-rich scheme for you guys. No. All you're trying to do is help the community, and you get people in front of your house screaming, threatening to kill you, gonna steal your wave. It's like crazy what's going on,
And when you have to build
We've had our stories.
You had to build a code of conduct. Like I had to write a code of conduct, talk about teaching people to behave, right? When the city has to create a code of conduct that I had to pencil, no, you can't do this. You
Code of
can't
conduct for whom?
for behavior for council members
Okay.
and for planning commissioners and
Right.
staff. You cannot behave this way. It is not okay.
You gotta bite your tongue sometime.
And here are the repercussions. We had to build that. I'm like, why do I have to create this? Well, it was because of the attacks that were coming towards me, and I'm just like, no, I don't put up with that, and that's just not okay.
Well, the
It'd
national.
be tough to sit in your hands, though. I mean, for me, it'd be tough to sit in my hands, but I'm not going.
Yeah,
You know?
you can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't
the
do that.
National League of Cities just published a report, and the increase in that kind of behavior amongst council members and then from the public went up 83%.
Well,
I mean, it's just off the charts.
he saw me got several red cards during us playing soccer. So he
Neil never gets fired up. They're always like, red card. Neil, we'll see you next
You're not-
game, buddy.
you're not running for
One
office.
more, you're not going to be able to play
You're
anymore.
not running for
Yeah.
office.
He takes soccer really seriously.
He does. I know. Especially adult
Kissing the
co-ed
World
soccer.
Cup
It's
trophy,
really,
you saw that?
Yeah, adult co-ed soccer, I know. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Did he run over the girls?
We're not going
So
to
we
talk
want to
about
thank you for your service. We want to thank all you for. Thank you for your service. It's a thankless job. Has anybody walked up to you lately and said thank you?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had-
people do come say thank
People
you.
do that?
They do.
That was
Yeah.
what
Yeah, that's
puts
cool.
us in it.
Yeah.
Is the thank you.
People
People
do.
walk up and say thanks?
Yeah.
That's cool.
They can never take away that you're mayor. It's like that's one thing that it's like the effort and the community, love of your communities that you all did. There's one thing they'll never take away is your title as a mayor, and
And you-
that takes a lot of guts.
And
So,
you don't
congrats
you
for
don't
that.
do it again, right? You don't have to.
But would you do? But would you all do it
Hands,
again?
hands, and
Would you, who'd be mayor again?
I would do it.
100%.
100%.
Derek says
That down jacket's a little heavy.
You're asking me maybe on the wrong day, honestly.
I got kids. I got the missus over here.
These three were like, oh yeah, we're back.
Yeah,
You're like,
well, I think you'd asked earlier, would you tell someone to sign up for it?
Yeah.
And knowing what I know now, would I want to? If I had to sign up for another year like this, I would have loved to have been the mayor in 2019.
What did you think you were signing
Right?
up for? What did you think you're signing up
Being
for?
the mayor in 2019.
Randy, we talked about earlier. He'd been on council 25 years, and he's like, this was 25 years. Yeah, we don't have term limits. So he said this was by far the hardest year he'd ever seen in public service, right? Because it went from being a job, at least in Scotts Valley, where it's a part-time job, to being maybe a 50, 60-hour-a-week job when we first kind of got into things. And then, we had the fires last year, and we had, so it was, it was not just, you weren't walking around like showing up and thanking people for their work at public events. You were in the trenches trying to figure out how to get stuff done. And that's why I was grateful for all, the four of us, working together for the betterment of the county. And it was really cool. It was really cool.
And there was no manual how to deal with a pandemic.
Every week we're like, okay,
So
what do
there's
we
no
do this
secret
week?
mayor book that you get when you're mayor? Like,
No, it's
here's the plans.
Oh,
No?
No.
It's like, hey, good luck.
It's like swim.
Figure it out. Where do I get to cut a ribbon and kiss the babies? I thought that was gonna be nope. Stay away from the babies.
Yeah.
Don't touch those.
Don't touch the babies. Don't touch the ribbon. Don't touch the ribbon.
Yeah, don't touch the ribbon.
Yeah.
Here, sanitize yourself.
Yeah.
We're gonna Let's just all wave at the ribbon online.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we thank you for your service, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for a thankless job. You guys did, and to have all four of you here is just is an honor for us to have all. We were so stoked you guys came. Thank you for organizing it.
Yeah.
Thank you for
She's
that.
the one that gets us
Yes.
And
organized.
it's
so
fun to
often.
see you all get along well. You all
Oh,
respect
yeah.
each other. There's
Yeah.
a great vibe and energy between you. And that gives me hope that this can continue on in our local government
Yeah.
to make our towns
But
better.
What's cool about you guys got along? Your district is completely different than his district.
Yeah.
Your district's completely different, than his, right? Different.
Yeah, very
But
different.
you guys all figured it out and got along.
You break it down. My brother
His
lives
brother's
in
my
his
neighbor.
district.
Right.
My
Yeah,
brother
used to,
lives in
yeah.
his
Right.
district. My business is in hers.
Right.
And
I surf a lot in her.
Yeah, we just hang out in hers. Don't steal her waves. This is a great place to meet for dinner. So
Exactly.
When the suits is in yours.
Yeah.
But honestly, we're not a big county. We're a small
I know,
community,
right.
And so
Small
dividing
city.
it up and drawing lines and being at each other, it serves no one's good.
Right.
Absolutely.
And this is really the first time I think that four mayors have intentionally tried to really stay together and work on stuff, and I think it's hopefully a new trend.
Well, I'm going to leave you
Super
going.
cool.
Hey, our county is in good hands.
I agree. Yeah.
Right?
I
I
feel
mean, you're a
like
small business owner. You got a lot going on your plate. You're
the fairgrounds I love, and I just hope that
How about our
can
skate
always. We have a great skate park, but the fairgrounds could have one. But just the fairgrounds to me are such an asset
Yeah.
for disasters and for me racing my car, which is really important to me. But the fairgrounds is awesome, and I hope that can continue to be a big part of Watsonville.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Can we just
Thanks, guys.
we need to promote our Wednesday show.
Of course you do.
Our Wednesday show, which will be me and TC here with about 6 CHP officers.
Oh, that's right. The cops are coming, huh?
The cops are coming
And
while we drink Mai Tais.
We're getting drunk.
we're getting fucked up.
And then we're doing DUI sobriety tests. Right here. Yeah, that's the plan. Next Wednesday, right? Right here.
This Wednesday.
And I heard Numa's coming with Mai Tais.
Numa from Aloha. Oh, my T-shirt's got a T-shirt on.
So so it's totally cool to get drunk that night?
We're gonna get. Well, no, if you can't drive home.
I can walk home. Can you walk drunk? Mayors? Is that okay? Maybe not. Huh?
I don't know.
Okay, Ubers. We're taking Ubers home.
Ask her. Ask her. Just don't do it on your skateboard. You'll be fine.
Okay, Wednesday night. Mayor,
Bye.
we love you, mayors. Thank you for your efforts.
Thank you.
We'll get that
Good night,
surf
everybody.
in a
Thank you
little
for tuning in.